Do you hate how bare your house looks after you take down all your Christmas decorations? Well, stick around. I've got something for you. Hi, my name is Leslie, and welcome to Happy Tuesday, where we do crafts and DIY and home decor and more. We're in luck because today I have 5 brand new winter decor ideas for you. Now, if you stay around to the very end, I've got a couple of little surprises for you. One is going to be a sneak peek into my favorite area of my house, decorated for Christmas. The second is a sneak peek of one of the things that we're going to be doing next week. So, let's get started. And let's get started with project number 1. You can either use a candle that's already in a glass container, or you can make your own, which is what I chose to do. And I bought this little square glass container at Dollar Tree, and I am using these small ornaments. You can buy them at Dollar Tree, or I think I got this package of them at Hobby Lobby on 50% off. And I took the lids off and hot glued them around the base of this glass container. Hindsight, I should have done some permanent hold as well as the hot glue, because I ended up having to re-glue every single piece on here. But when I made the video, I just used hot glue. So grab your E6000 or your super glue and add that along with it to make it more sturdy. Now, after I got these ornaments all the way around, then I got out the little bottle brush trees, and I took the base off of each and every one of them. Now, you can do these any colors you want that match with your decor. I chose silver and white and silver ornaments because that goes with mine. And because this is just a winter and not Christmas, I wanted it to look wintry. So I took the base off of every one, and then I will glue the bottle brush trees inside the little hole of the ornament. And once I got all the bottle brush trees in there, I started showing you some options on how this can be done. So you can use just a little battery operated votive and put that in there, or add some little baubles or vase fillers and put that in there with the candle. Or I melted a candle that was not burning properly, and I had burned quite a bit of, and I just used a new wick, glued that to the bottom, melted that candle in the microwave, and then I will pour that candle inside this container. Now I'm clothespinning a little pin to the wick so that it stays up straight and secure until this candle dries. And here it is, all nice and dry, and I just love this so much. And transitioning from Christmas to winter, it will be the perfect addition to my decor. What do you think? And now we're on to project number 2. I just love this so much. So I took one of those 3 packs of rings from the Dollar Tree, and I chose the largest ring. And then I have a little stir stick that I am going to paint white and use that as the base. I've got a little glass deer that I got from Dollar Tree before the Christmas season started, and I'm going to paint this little stick white so that it blends in and doesn't detract from my winter scene that I'm going to create in this ring. Now, the other items that you'll need are some more of those little silver ornaments or white baubles, a couple of little tumbling tower blocks. Those are going to be used to hold the ring up as well as stabilize the base. So I'm going to give those a nice coat of white chalk paint as well. And then I also have some other decorative items along with one of the rolls of Christmas tree wreath greenery that I bought at Dollar Tree, and I am going to use some of it to wrap around the ring and give it a nice covering in evergreen. And then I'm also going to cut some pieces that I'll use as decor around the ring. So here I am, I'm just wrapping that greenery around the ring, and I will tighten it up so that when it's all done, the only part of the ring that you're going to see is the part that I left empty as kind of a decor piece. And here I am, I'm cutting about, I guess they were about 2-inch pieces with my little snips that I got from Harbor Freight. And I'm also going to be using a little pack of those fairy lights. And here I'm going to use some hot glue and glue that greenery and wire down to my little board, and I'm going to use some of these tumbling tower blocks, and I will stagger glue those along the base to give it some stability and make that ring stand up straight. Now there probably was a better idea of how this could have been done, but I'd already gotten started, and this is what I decided to use. Now I'm going to take one of these winter picks and I'm going to cut off the pine cones and the little greenery pieces, and keep everything really neutral so that it fits in with my winter decor. And I'm going to use the other 2 tumbling tower blocks to give the base some stability, and then we'll start decorating. So I'm going to use these little pieces. I apologize here for the camera focusing on the top there, but I'll show you what I'm doing here in a second. I am just taking some of those vase fillers, and I am using those to decorate around the little greenery pieces and add in a little pine cone and give it some decor. And there you can see what I've done at that first little section, and I'm just going to continue that around, and in a minute I will glue on my little glass deer, and I think it's just turning out so beautiful. Once I've got all the decor pieces on there that I want, I'm going to take some of this little, it's not a jute twine, it's kind of a twine ribbon kind of thing I got from Michael's, and I am going to cut 3 little pieces and tie on 3 little ornaments, and then add that on as just a little bit of extra decor onto the side there. Now you'll notice I did go in and paint that ring white, and I also added some fairy lights, and I just think this is an amazing piece of winter decor. What do you think? If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and click the bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. And that brings us to project number 3. I love to have a wreath on my front door all year long, but sometimes it just needs to be something quick and simple. So I picked 4 of these red and green picks with a little snow flicker in them from Walmart, and they were 97 cents. And then I picked 2 of these snowy greenery picks that were $4 each at Walmart, and I just slid them into that grapevine wreath. No fuss, no muss, no glue. That way I can either rearrange it or take it out and adjust it as I want to with the season, or reuse that grapevine wreath. Now here I'm just showing you a quick bow that I'm creating, and this ended up not being the one I used on this wreath. But before you say anything, I will be doing a bow tutorial not next Tuesday but the following Tuesday. I'll have 3 or 4 different bows for you, and they'll all be in real time so that you'll be able to see each bow and how it gets created. And I add the bow onto my little wreath, and then before I stuck it up on my door, I added this little bird I found in my craft room, and voila, here is this beautiful winter wreath. No muss, no fuss. And that'll bring us to project number 4. This is probably my favorite of the video. I found this little sled at Hobby Lobby, and it was on there 50% off, so it was $1.25. I liked that it had the little metal base. Dollar Tree does have some wooden sleds as well, and they're actually bigger than this one, but I wasn't real fond of their little base. So first I took some of my antique wax and I gave that a good coat all over that sled, and now I am faux rusting these 3 bells that I will use as decor pieces on my sled. And so I'm just using some Mod Podge and some cinnamon, and I just do multiple coats of the Mod Podge and cinnamon together, and then it comes off looking really rusty. Now normally you'll want to let this dry for a while. I was kind of impatient, and I don't think I showed it, but when I took the bells off this stick, I actually ripped some of the cinnamon Mod Podge mixture on and had to glue it back on. So give yourself some extra time and have a little patience with the drying process, and these always turn out super easy. I know there's another way to kind of rust these bells, but I haven't done it yet, or I'll probably do that sometime next year, and then I'll have a whole stash of rusted bells. Next, I'm going to take some of my modeling air dry clay, and I'm going to make a little snowman that'll sit on the sled. I love this air dry clay. I'm not real fond of the way it feels when you first take it out of that bucket. But it dries really well, and I've created a lot of stuff out of this winter. So once I get the dimensions right on the snowman, then I will set him aside and move on to the next piece. Alright, so now I'm going to create a little decor piece to go over beside the snowman, and I create and recreate this a couple of different times until I finally get the look that I want. But here I'm taking a little frosted pine cone, and some of that berry garland that you can buy at Dollar Tree, and a few little eucalyptus leaves from a pick I got from Dollar Tree, or maybe it was Walmart. And I'm going to put that all together, and that will sit off to the side of my snowman. And you'll see I've glued all this together, and then I will end up taking it apart and fixing it, because I was more interested in having my little rusty bells than I was this whole little piece that I created here. The next thing I'm going to do is take this little tree apart. Now, I bought this at Walmart in their little Christmas section, and I took the blanket apart and cut off the concrete part, and yeah, here I am fudging with that little decor piece again. And I am going to take some more of that modeling clay, and I'm going to create a little snowy base for that tree to sit on top of this sled. And in a minute, I'm going to pull out some little creativity faux snow that I found at Michael's. And I thought it looked really interesting. I'd never seen it before. It was already in their clearance section, so it was only like $1, $1.25, but it's little snowy pieces. And I'm just pushing that into the clay there, and then I'll use a little Mod Podge and add a little onto the sled, and just give it a whole little snowy appearance. Tell me if you've ever seen this faux snow stuff, and if you have, what have you done with it? And here we are with that snow on there, and we'll let that all dry. And now I'm gonna remake my little decor piece again here. And I'm actually gonna take one of those little pip berries, and I'm gonna break it off the stem, and then I will cut it in half, and I'm gonna use that as the snowman nose. When you're creating something, do you go in it already knowing what you're going to do, or do you go in it and just kind of have a rough idea of what you want it to look like, and then adjust what you're doing to what you want it to look like as it goes along? For me here, and I think you're seeing this, I have an idea what I want it to look like, and I mess with it a little bit as I go along. Now, I don't know if you saw me there. I was rubbing my snowman in the leftover cinnamon pieces I've got laying there on my little cutting mat I use for a painting work surface. I just wanted to grunge him up a little since he's out in the snow on the sled. So there's my little nose piece that I cut from that pip berry. And I'm going to get my little paint markers, and I'll paint him some eyes and some little buttons to go down his front. But before that, I'm redoing that whole little piece so that I can have my 3 bells. I guess the 3 bells were more important to me than the pine cone. So here we are. We'll just take it apart and start over again. All right, let's get this all wrapped up. Now I've got my snowman being glued down to my sled, and I've got my little decor piece with the bells over there to the right. And I decided this little pole twine sled pole, I don't know what you'd call it, was too long. So I shortened it. And here we are. I think he just turned out absolutely adorable. And I think this will make a great addition to my tiered tray. And that little tree actually matches the wreath I'll have on my front door. And here we are at project number 5. Now this project here was the one that I talked about not last week, but the week before when I asked you to get the little wooden kits. And I apologize again for not having done that last week. But I decided that Christmas was coming to an end and I really needed to have a winter decor video instead, and this just fit more with winter decor than it did with Christmas. So I took this old frame that I had with the glass in it that I had bought on clearance from Hobby Lobby, and I took it all apart and took all the pieces off and cleaned up the glass. And I'm going to take some of that spray snow in a bottle, in a can, and I am going to spray around the edges of my glass to give it a snowy window appearance. Once I set that aside to dry, I'm going to take out my little wood pieces and I am going to paint them white. Now I started with this little Christmas tree. I thought I was going to use it. So I took the green sparkly off, but then decided at the end I didn't want to use it. I was going to use the 3 trees together and paint them white, and then I was going to take 3 of those snowflakes from Dollar Tree and also paint those white using my Waverly white chalk paint. And then I will also add the little house that's in the kit, and I will paint it white so that it also looks snowy for my window. Not all of those little wooden kits at Dollar Tree are the same. There are some that come with a snowman and some that come with Santa, I believe. Santa wouldn't work for winter decor, but the snowman would. So if you didn't get the house one, you could use the snowman one and just paint him white and add him in there. If you got the one with Santa, maybe you just add a couple extra trees and just do it treed. Now I use some of this gel super glue that I bought at Dollar Tree and put around the inside edge of the frame, and then add a little hot glue for a quick hold. And I'm going to put this inside the frame, my glass piece. Now the snow is actually facing me, so that what you see on the glass on the outside is just the vision of snow, not the actual snow. And then I'm going to super glue all my pieces in, and I'm going to super glue some fairy lights around the outside edge, and then I will make a top decor piece. Isn't that so pretty all lit up? All right, now let's work on the top. I already cut pieces of that black and white buffalo checked ribbon and folded those in half. They're about, I want to say 12 inches long each, and I cut 4 of them. Now I'm just taking some of that spray snow and touching it up a little bit. It did crackle around the edges, and I'm not sure why. Maybe I got too much in one spot. Not sure. But anyway, I think it looks beautiful. So I'm going to take some of these evergreen pieces and use those on either side of this top, and then I'm going to take some of this little red berry, and then it's got some little pine cones in it, and it'll kind of make the transition from Christmas to winter, because I actually did put this up with my Christmas decor. And at the very end, as a reminder, I'm going to show you my favorite area of my house for Christmas decor. So I'm going to take some of that berries, and I believe that was bought on clearance last year at Hobby Lobby. It came in a garlandy, bushy kind of piece. And now I am going to work on that bow here. I'm just going to pinch the top couple of inches on each of those pieces and flip them across side to side, and then puff it out and dovetail the ends, and that bow will be completed. And I'll just add that on to my little garland I have there at the top. Swag, I guess it's more of a swag. And here it is all completed, and it does have the little hook on the back, so it can be stood up like I have mine in front of the fireplace, or hung up. And here's my favorite area in my house decorated for Christmas. I love the tree and the lights and the stockings, all hung by the chimney with care. I just think it is so peaceful and calming and relaxing, and this is my favorite place to hang out during Christmas. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I really do enjoy our time together. Now, you've already seen one of my surprises, which was my favorite area of my house. Our second surprise is we're going to be doing something a little bit different next week. As you're getting ready between Christmas and New Year's for your New Year's celebrations, I don't know about you, but I myself have some food allergies, and I have a lot of friends and family who do as well. So I'm going to make some of my favorite snacky type and dessert type items for you to share with your friends and family who may have food allergies. One is going to be gluten-free, so stick around. But until then, make it an amazing Christmas holiday, and Happy Tuesday!